It looks like 8 Passengers Ruby is finally sitting down to discuss why she left her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. And I'll tell you, it's a painful one to watch. I'm also going to say this before we get into things. Ruby has shown her family online for years. Her children have grown up online and she's shared a lot with people. Obviously not everything, but she shared a lot. And a lot of people in the comments don't know her, but when you watch someone online, you can see changes in how they are, and she even has acknowledged that she's changed over the years. But this change in a lot of people's opinions has been quite scary to see, and as harsh as she has been to her kids in certain videos with her strict parenting and this awful advice that she has given to parents out there that does seem to tear families apart and cause resentment and all of that, people do feel like she has kind of lost herself in this parenting advice group that she's in, and they do kind of feel for her, or at least they want her to wake up. I know it's definitely hard for people to say like they feel bad for her, but a lot of people do, especially in this situation, because they feel like she's lost herself a little bit. Her daughter and her parents and siblings have all spoken up about feeling like this as well, and that they've lost her to this group and that they do not support it at all. And they've expressed that, and they hope that she returns to them one day. This whole thing is scary and it's sad, and when you really sit down to watch this video that we're about to talk about in particular, you can see how fully in this bubble she is. In their recent video titled "Your Child Needs Principles, Not Opinions, Moms of Truth with Jody and Ruby," the thumbnail literally says why I left 8 Passengers, which had a lot of people clicking because a lot of people want answers. In this, Jody, the person that she is working alongside in her parenting advice page, is making her feel like she is such a bad person when she is not living in truth, which is what they teach together on their group. The two of them in this video sit down to talk about their lives prior to living in this truth that they teach. Truth is what they believe in, and like I said, it's what they teach to others, and they believe that if you live in any other way, you are living in distortion. Over the last couple years of Ruby truly diving into this lifestyle, people still can't seem to understand it fully, but it does seem like it leaves no grace for mistakes as a human, whether you're an adult or a child. And if you're not a perfect person, you're a bad person. At least that's how they make it seem when they're giving advice to people. In this video, as Ruby is talking about her past before she was believing and living by truth, she just seems to be really beating herself up to no end. And Jody is even chiming in to add to her feeling bad about her past self.
I was a hugely disconnected, selfish, aggressive, neglectful mother.
Entitled.
I wanted my kids to be happy, which AKA translated into, I want my kids to get off my back. I've got video footage of me being in distortion for years before that.
You see how humble that is? That's humble. She's telling you, I was in distortion. I was harming my kids. I was being selfish.
Being super neglectful in the area that I wasn't bringing truth into my home.
Like, not Jody chiming in and saying entitled. Like, wow, rub salt in the wound, why don't you? I feel like she made Ruby feel like she was such a bad and horrible mom, and it ended up making Ruby a stricter mom that is even harder on herself and her kids. And that little interaction alone told people that, because what? I mean, she's talking about how she let her oldest son watch The Walking Dead, and she's acting like it's a life-ruining show.
Me allowing my child to watch The Walking Dead was me being selfish because I didn't want to ruffle the distortion inside of my child, which meant I knew if I said no, he was going to get mad, and I just, I don't want to deal with the kids being mad. That's my selfishness. Years later, my littles who were even littler at the time, I mean, they were just little. Oh, it breaks my heart. They're telling me all the things that they saw. They have been bothered for years, and they've never felt comfortable to come tell me about it. Why? Because I was such a disconnected mother.
I mean, it's certainly not for small children, but her son is older and right now he doesn't even live with her. I believe he's out of the home. That's how old he is. But the way that she's talking about him watching this show and how it's harmed him and harmed her other kids, it's like she's living with such guilt over a television show.
It hurt the little ones and I didn't know about it. It's been rotting in their system for years. I need to repent for being so selfish.
And it doesn't help that Jody is sitting there acting like a judger in all of this. I'm sure that makes her feel even worse when she honestly shouldn't even feel bad about that. If she let her kids watch a show that they were not ready for age-wise, or even just that, because she's not even saying that they were too young to watch the show. She was just saying people should not be watching that show at all. But I mean, everyone makes mistakes. Like, let's have some grace here. But she is beating herself up over this. And Jody is just like, yep, bad, super bad, you were bad, yep, horrible. Oh, disgusting. I can't believe you even did that. We are human. Humans make mistakes. It's really not that deep. And if the worst thing her kids have watched is The Walking Dead, it's really not. Like, there's worse things out there. But like I said, she's really beating herself up in this whole entire video over things that she shouldn't. And I think that the things people would like her to feel this way about is probably the times where she let her kids go hungry in school, or times she took her kids' beds away, or times she didn't let them have privacy and took their doors away. Like, those are the times that I think people would like to see her reflect and be like, I really regret doing that. But to hear her say that about The Walking Dead, everyone's like, oh my goodness. But that's just the thing. I mean, them living in truth and them preaching truth, they seem to think that everyone should be perfect at all times, born super independent, capable of taking care of yourselves, immediately fresh out the womb. There were so many times that Ruby had filmed punishing her children on YouTube, and that certainly opened the floor up to conversations surrounding her parenting. And she's now saying that she regrets all of that. She regrets filming that. She regrets having the YouTube channel. She regrets putting her children online and opening up that conversation of what her kids are doing and how they're being treated in her household. She's saying she regrets that because during that time, she was living in what she's saying is distortion, because her parenting back then, she was letting her kids do things that they wanted to do, and she was trusting them because she didn't want to get in arguments with her kids. She wanted her kids to like her, and she's saying that that is just so bad, and she's now viewing that as something that she wishes she didn't do. And I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, that's really good that you're, regretting some of those videos that you posted on your YouTube channel. But the concerning part that people have is just that she chose to stop vlogging when she entered this new phase of life where she was really a part of this connections group and she was really living in truth. So to think that all that she had filmed on her channel was her feeling like she was being a chill parent, that's the part that people can't even wrap their minds around, because she was getting judged heavily for being a strict parent back then. And if that was her quote unquote being chill, what she's not filming is what people are like, what in the world is going on over there? But Ruby talks more about her YouTube channel later, and she even gets emotional, feeling like she chose to live in distortion and take the money over prioritizing living in truth and being there for her kids as a mom.
You wonder where I've been on my vlogs? You wonder why I left YouTube? It's to save my kids. No amount of money. I'm telling you, I was making millions and I left it because my kids were being hurt. With entitlement, they were being hurt. With people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is. This is the truth, and this is where I stand. And fortunately, I had a chance. I had them in my home long enough to do it, and I'm not going to lose them. They're seeing truth, they're accepting truth, they're loving truth. And so this is my passion, is to invite you to stand in truth and put your opinions to the side for a minute, because your kids are the target of distortion.
And towards the end of the video, the two of them are both emotional with tears in their eyes, inviting people to join their group and be a part of them. And in some way, it just kind of feels a little eerie. It was kind of feeling like one of those commercials where a celebrity is trying to get you to donate money.
We need you. We love you. We know what power exists inside you. And we want you to be here. Distortion is this thing that's trying to drag you down and kill you and kill your children. We are here to help you see it.
Someone commented on this video and said, "You say you did not always know how important it is to be honest, responsible, and humble. I'm curious to know where you learned about it from. It would be interesting to learn about it from where you learned about it, if that makes sense." And they commented and said, "Ruby started training with Connections 4 years ago. Principles of being honest, responsible, and humble have been around since the beginning of time. Jody simply packaged these universal principles into a platform called Connections to help people learn to apply them to every area of their life in relationships." So what we're hearing is that Ruby sought out help from Jody and is now a big part of this brand. Ruby is just a massive face of Connections. She's sitting right next to Jody, the person that created all of this. And a lot of people believe that this is all because Ruby had a huge following. I mean, she had millions of followers, so of course Jody is going to want her to be a big part of this because it's going to drive more people to look at her business. I mean, Ruby even rebranded her entire personal Instagram to be a Instagram page for her and Jody to promote Connections. And having seen things from the Facebook group that they have and these desperate parents coming to these ladies for help, it seems like Ruby was in that desperate place and sought out help from Jody. And with the way that they talk to people on their Facebook page, I'm sure Jody spoke to Ruby that same way and made her feel so shameful, like she did in this video, of making her feel like entitled, you know, making her feel like she was a bad person because she wasn't living in truth, and gave her the same advice that they give to others that a lot of people don't really love because they feel like it's really harsh and doesn't give grace for being a human being. And that's pretty much the assumption of what happened and how this all happened. It's just really crazy to see how it's all unfolded. People really think that Jody probably gave Ruby this advice and was like, "You're not living in truth, like you're a bad person, so you need to come and join me and live in truth and you'll be the best mom ever." And now she's doing that. That's exactly what she's doing. But she might have tried to spin that onto her family and her sisters and be like, "You're a bad person because you're not living in truth." And they were like, "Girl, what? Like, don't talk to me like that. That is really mean." So that definitely could push people away if you're going to talk to people like that. Some people have even pointed out that, you know, she's talking about her regrets being online, even though she's still online and she's still talking about her kids online, sharing things about them, sharing things about their life, their private life in these videos on Connections, when she seemed to view the internet as very dangerous when she was talking about her own YouTube channel. But I mean, let me know what you guys think, because this is a roller coaster ride over here. Let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.